and welcome to a really rainy day in Kigali. It's been raining here for what feels like months. It feels like the dry season was like a British summer. You blinked and it was gone. But we had one sunny day yesterday, and I was going to go out and get all my stuff done, all of my chores, started the bike, or at least I tried to start the bike, and it wouldn't go. So I spent yesterday, the one sunny day, fixing the bike and the battery, and hopefully it will start today. But we're back to our usual programming of tipping it down. So I've got my wet weather gear on, I've got my wet weather trousers, my wet weather jacket, and I've got my helmet full face. With my little chin guard to keep the water out, stop me from drowning, and I'm going to brave it, because if I don't go out today, I'm never going to get anything done. It's always going to be like this. So let's go get some stuff achieved.
First stop, cash. Heading to the petrol station up the road. Lots of people sheltering from the rain. I use BPR out of habit because for a long time they continued to have free ATMs even after all the other banks started to charge. But now they charge like everybody else. On the upside, their machines do tend to dispense in small notes. So the first 10k of however much you take out is usually in 1,000 and 2,000 notes, which can be really useful. I'm slipping 1k into my pocket as we set off for our next destination. I need to go put some air in my tyres. I tend to do this once a week, or the first time I take the bike out if I haven't ridden it for a while. The petrol station we just went to has an ATM, but no air pump. So we need to go to another one for that. Looks like it's getting a bit drier. Going past Parliament on the left. We're heading up to my old stomping ground of Kisemente. This is where I lived when I first arrived almost 20 years ago. The petrol station always used to be here, but it was smaller, blue and run by a different company. I like getting my tyres checked here because it's always the same guy, and he remembers the exact pressure without me having to remind him.
Hello! Hey! That's correct for the front, yes.
I got very confused the first time because I'm used to giving the tyre pressure in PSI, but this machine works on kPa, so it displays in hundreds rather than tens. That really threw me at first, and I had to Google the conversion. Normally, for a single rider, it's 22 at the front and 32 at the back, which is 150 and 220 in kPa. It's always worth knowing both. Now we're heading off along the airport road to try to find Ami Body Organics. I get through a ton of aloe vera gel as I make my own face cream at home. It's just a wonderful base. I absolutely love the stuff. And the best aloe vera I've found comes from Ami. In the past, I've always asked a courier company to deliver it for me. So this is the first time I'm actually going to the shop myself. I tried to find it a few weeks back, but got stuck in traffic and drove straight past it. This time, I think I figured it out. Excuse me arsing about in the car park. I'm not sure where the shop is or where I should park. I was so impressed by this shop. It's beautifully decorated and smells like a spa. They've got lots of interesting products, including face serum and beard oil. And there's these gorgeous handcrafted wooden boxes of loose incense. The aloe vera is completely pure, no additives. I'll be coming back to do some Christmas shopping. The next shop I need to go to is literally around the corner, but due to the road layout, it's difficult to get to it. So instead of tying myself up in knots, I've decided to go do town stuff first and then come back. I'm enjoying being out on the bike, so I might as well give it a proper run.
I won't make it easy for you now. You got 2 minutes of my time, and I don't really break too easily.
This is the infamous sonotubes roundabout. It's really quiet today, but often it's at a complete standstill. Rumour has it it's about to get an upgrade. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen, but I read something about an underpass. That's why I quite like filming my rides, because the city is changing so fast. It's nice to have a record of how things look now, because they will probably look completely different in a few years. I wish I'd taken more footage when I first arrived here, but back then we didn't have cameras on our phones, and even if I took videos, it wouldn't have been easy to store them. I certainly wouldn't have been able to upload them with the internet what it was back then.
I'll slip into your dreams tonight. Oh, so give me your all. I'll take it to Mars. Oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind. Oh, so give me your all. I'll take it to Mars. Oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind.
Just watch me.
I got you wrapped around my finger, but don't you try to call me tomorrow. There's nothing personal in having a little fun. You wait and see if it's worth your while. Oh, so give me your all. I'll take it to Mars. Oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind.
Just watch me.
Give me your all. I'll take it to Mars. Oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind.
Just watch me.
Right, so today we're heading to somewhere called Sulfo. I'm looking for distilled water to put in my bike battery. There's plenty of drinking water for sale, but apparently you need distilled water because it doesn't have any minerals or impurities that might clog up the cells. I've never needed this before, so I'm not too sure what I'm looking for, but everyone on the expats forum says Sulfo will have it. For some reason, the name makes me think of Silco from Arcane. I'm expecting to buy it in some backroom poker den in a seedy part of town. I'll be very disappointed if it's not. Right, it's somewhere down past T2000. Fingers crossed I'm on the right road. This guy came over to explain that this is Sulfo and that I can park up by the shop. I'm not entirely sure what they sell, but it appears to be a lot of tyres and water. They did indeed have battery water, a box of 12 for 4,400, which I thought was an incredible deal. I only bought 2 because I didn't have room on my bike, but it's worth knowing for the future. So, final stop of the day, back the way we just came, but on the opposite side of the road, so that we can pop into Agritech and pick up some cat food. I'm going to slow this down because this is a lively part of Kigali. It's the old town, and there's a lot of shops and activity. It's perfectly safe to walk around, but everyone's on the hustle, and like Kimironko Market, it can get a bit overwhelming. It's kind of interesting to look around though. Oh dear, my camera is starting to unscrew itself. Thankfully, I noticed just in time. This is turning into a constant problem with the Insta360 and my Enfield. The bike I drive is a bit of a rattler, and the screw that keeps the camera in place isn't always up to the job. Nice building on the left with traditional Imigongo patterns. This is the main roundabout in central Kigali. All roundabouts here are chaos. It's got nothing to do with the road layout. The roundabouts themselves are perfectly fine roundabouts. It's just that most drivers don't really understand them. The two things that make roundabouts work well, lane discipline and giving way to oncoming traffic, are completely alien concepts across most of Africa. So half the time they're at a standstill, and the other half someone's cutting straight across you. I honestly don't know if it will ever change. Probably not in my lifetime. But if you can drive here, you can drive absolutely anywhere. Pleased that I've got so much done already and that the rain has held off. Traffic's starting to pick up though, and I'm looking forward to getting home, putting my slippers on and having a nice cup of tea. Here's the Sonotubes roundabout again. I have to say, this is probably the quietest I've ever seen it. Destination is Agritech Pet Shop to pick up some Royal Canin kibble for the cats. It's expensive, but it's good quality and it keeps them healthy. They get plenty of fresh meat and some tinned cat food too, but kibble helps bulk things out. So yeah, you can pick up pet food for dogs and cats, a few toys and carry cases, and I even found beef-flavoured toothpaste, but I'm not brave enough to try that with my cats just yet. The only thing about this shop is that it's murder to get out of on a bike. It's my least favourite shop to visit because there's a trench between the car park and the main road. I don't know why they didn't just build a proper drop curb. I once got stuck in this rut and someone had to push me out of it. The Enfield can manage much better, but there's a heck of a clunk. I shed a tear for my suspension every time. Looks smooth, right? But let me show you that again without stabilisation. I mean, seriously, why? So, we're just opposite KFC. It's the only outlet of the only international fast food chain we have in Rwanda. I was watching a video the other day about the decline of British culture, and it made some interesting comparisons between countries like the UK, who went all out on American fast food, and countries in Europe who didn't, and managed to maintain the quality of their food. I remember back in 2008 or 9, there was talk of a McDonald's opening here, but Rwanda said no. I think it's a really good thing they stopped that. We have so many good restaurants here, with cuisine from all over the world. We really don't need that junk. KFC is a bit of a novelty. It's interesting that we have one, but there are so many better places to get fried chicken. Anyway, that's my rant about fast food over with. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. So, I've done all of my chores for the day. Got my cosmetics, cat food and battery water. Just to let you know, I've been toying with the idea of doing a live stream when we hit 4,000 subs, or possibly over the festive season, whichever comes first. I won't lie, the idea does kind of terrify me. But I also think it could be kind of good fun to say hello in real time and answer a few questions about life in Rwanda, travel and all that jazz. Let me know if that sounds like a good idea below. And bonus points for any suggestions about what we could talk about. Stay warm and dry, and I'll see you in the next one.